where everything falls apart is just in communication. Some of this is gonna have to come out. And now it's rock hard. It was like nothing but people just like hating us for cutting out the base and the outlet. Back out here at the ranch, guys. It's another beautiful morning and everything's good. We just have a mistake that I got to address this morning. I kind of got this inspiration picture from the designer and just ran with it, and it turns out it's not all correct. So you can see I did this kind of diamond pattern with the tongue and groove. I got this going a couple days ago and it's going really well, and until the designer came and said, that's not what I want. And I was like, that's the picture I was given. So I just copied it. And here's a picture of what that was. I was told, hey, do this on the ceiling and walls and make it happen. So I'm like, all right, here we go. We're doing it with TNG. At this point, some of this is gonna have to come out. I thought we were just doing it to the edges of these. See how this kind of drops off? Got this cut going, was gonna go all the way down this, and then I was stopped because what we're gonna have are these kind of beams going up the side and across to make this area more square. Now, that does make more sense. And I was looking at that picture and I was like, yeah, I mean, it's on there, but I wasn't told anything about those beams. I wasn't told anything about those supports coming down the side. I was just told, do the walls and ceilings really quickly in passing. Like, hey, this area, do the wall and ceiling like this, boom, we're going on. Not only that, the beams on those in those pictures are stain grade, so these are going to be painted. So this has got to come out. I've got to snap a line, nail a board, cut this off, which is fine. I'm a little sad about these holes right here because those are some nice cutouts going to waste now, but it's okay. But that is going to stop back here now, and it's going to look more like the photo. Now, I thought it was going to be all the way and I would just run a little piece of trim down like we did in this other room. So you can see in this room, we have all that TNG in that same kind of area, but we have 1x2s trimming it out at all the twists and turns of this room. So 1x2s coming here, here, there, up through this peak, and in your standard locations. So I thought, you know, picture this with that diamond pattern. This comes, that happens, and then it just gets that trim. Similar, right? You can see where I'm going with this. Now back in this space, I just want to really hammer this in, is that where everything falls apart is just in communication, because they could have communicated to me more of like, hey, I want it exactly like this. Instead of stain grade beams, we're doing paint grade beams. And I could have communicated and said, hey, you know, do you want that same trim piece? And then she would have been like, what trim piece? We're not even doing all that like we're doing in there, because she assumed she gave me a picture and I'm just gonna copy it. I assume from the conversation it's just the walls and ceiling, and we're gonna do it like that space over there because we have an example to look at. So assumptions on both ends, miscommunication on my end for sure. Sure, I could have, you know, confirmed some things, but we're gonna get this done. So let's cut this out. I PL'd all these miters here and it's squeezed out, and now it's rock hard. So that's pretty funny. It just kind of squeezed it out and I didn't wipe it off. But I'll cut that off if it's not a spot that is coming out anyways, and then I'll sand this all down. I'm not gonna leave it like that for the painters. So I'm done with that cut. That took about 5 minutes to go across that whole thing, not too bad. So all we have to do now is pull this down. I'm gonna pull it from the other way so I don't damage the good side. Since all this is coming out, it's not gonna matter. I'm just ripping out everything from the line I cut out to here. One good thing about this, I can test the strength of that PL on my joints. Took some force. Dude, let's say that's holding pretty good. So if you're wondering if your PL holds just by kind of touching two materials together, there's your answer. Because I didn't clamp this or anything. I can beat this thing. It's breaking the wood before it's tearing apart that miter. Our dumpster way over there. So I'm just gonna toss my trash out right here so I don't have to walk it all down the stairs, and then I'll just walk out. 25-foot fall. Yeah, still together. And this one, so small, it's probably not gonna break, but I'm gonna chunk it. So to build these kind of little decorative beams and supports here, I'm gonna sketch out something that looks like a pretty standard like crown profile, but just on a massive scale. And then I'm gonna cut this out pretty close to my line with the jigsaw. I'll sand this thing down and make an accurate template out of it. So I have that already here, and I could take my template and lay it down on a piece of new stock. This is all Windsor 1x12. So I'm sketching this out here for my new piece, and I'm gonna cut that new piece out about a ½ inch or so away from the traced line so I can cut it out with a router. So in order to hold it in place, I'm gonna pin nail the original to the new one that was kind of roughly cut out. And then I'll take a flush trim bit and just use my original cutout as a guide for the rough cut one. And this will be the same process 3 times over to make all 4 of them, because I'll need 2 on each side. And once I have these cut out, I can then separate them from the pins, and now I have 2. So these are ready to go. I just have to cut a little recess in them. I'm going to use this little step bit. It's actually a giant bit, but this is going to step it back 3/4, and that'll be where I can use my bending plywood to fit in there, and it'll be sandwiched in between these. And here's another look at that step bit right there, just hogging out a ton of material. It's actually pretty amazing how smooth this bit is. So with my pieces milled, you can see the idea here. The middle piece of the bending plywood will be sandwiched in between these, and there's a place for it to stop. And these will be up in this position here. Of course, I got to put the longer kind of legs on and then the beam across. But these are all going to be made out of Windsor 1x4s. And I'm just going to glue, and I have the pocket screws in these. I'll get these cinched down, and those will be the legs. So here's what I've got for that shape. See that profile right there? I've just got them propped up right now. That's kind of what it's going to look like. The drywallers are going to come back. They're going to repair all this where it got damaged from that previous install that I just ripped out this morning. And then it's going to connect from that point to that point, but I'm going to put that on at the end. I'm actually going to be taking these back to my shop and doing the bending here. I'm just going to get some bending plywood and get it sanded down nice and good. But I think the plan is going to work out good. It's going to get sandwiched in there. I'll have a board right here, of course, that gets squeezed by these 2 parts. Then I'll have a board on the wall, and then I'll just be able to slide this on, and it should fit nice and tight there. So you'll have to kind of imagine this going across for now. I'm not going to finish it up in this video, but after that, I'll take this tongue and groove back here and then just run it into the back of this, and that'll kind of be it for this. I'll case the window with the 1x4, wrap my 1x8 base around the room. Actually, I've already got it in most of this area here. You can see we've got these pieces cut. Some of them actually already installed. You can see we've got a lot of outlets in the base again. I know some people saw my little short video there on YouTube and Instagram were wondering, is it up to code to put these outlets this low? And the answer to that is, all I can tell you is from my personal experience here in Texas at least, that is not an issue. It is not against code. It doesn't matter if anything floods or shorts anything, everything's GFCI. There's even outlets in the floor itself, so having an outlet like in the base isn't really a big deal. As far as like codes, I don't know. All I know is it passes code on the houses. The past 3 houses we've done, it's passed code. And because those were in the city. Out here, we don't have codes. Obviously, we're on an 1,100 acre ranch, but obviously it's still good to kind of live by the code, even if it's not enforced, because the code isn't necessarily made just to make things like harder on the trades. That they do have like reasons for safety and whatnot, of course. If you're talking about like from a design point of view, I kind of like it. I kind of like the idea that it's like concealed in the base, that it's not just this like wall plate in the middle of like a painted wall. And then there's times where I kind of like how it's always been, where the millwork is just doesn't have any outlets in it. So I kind of go back and forth, but yeah, I think it's just personal preference. But I got a ton. I mean, that video went like mega viral for me. I think I got like over 1 million views on those outlets. And it was like nothing but people just like hating us for cutting out the base and the outlets. Like, we didn't choose that. So anyways, this whole ranch, the base, the outlet is in the base.